Hello, I'm here to hopefully shed some light on the situation on YouTube with all the people saying that Christ is going to return September 2025. I'm here to hopefully not disappoint you, but just explain that that's probably not going to happen. And I'll explain why really quick, so I won't waste your time. Um, so for me to do that, I think I'd have to point to Matthew, believe it or not, Matthew 27. I think it's 52, 53, something like that. And it's when Jesus is resurrected in Matthew, and that's the only gospel it says this, is that other believers in the vicinity of the resurrection, they were raised from the dead and they went into the city and preached. Interesting, no one really talks about this. But think what happened. There was an earthquake that resurrected Jesus, but God's resurrection power was so strong that in the vicinity, other believers that had fallen asleep were raised up. And then they went into the city and preached, the Bible says. Now go to Revelation. Okay, so Revelation, we have a ceremony taking place where Jesus has passed the scroll with seven seals. So what's happening here is he's breaking a seal, and then there's a trumpet, and then there's a bowl. Then he goes to the next seal, breaks it, there's a trumpet, kind of like an announcement, trumpet, and then there's the bowl, there's the judgment. So if you look at Revelation, the seals, the trumps, and the bowls are all one event. The first one, the second one, the third one. And you can line them up. That's how I kind of got this opinion, was I was doing it on paper, and it's interesting that the same events in the, let's say, the fourth or fifth trump were also in the bowl, or the seal in the trump. So interesting. You look at around the sixth or seventh of these events, and you have a tremendous earthquake, a huge earthquake. You see where I'm going? Okay, I think in the trumps it says, it's such a huge earthquake that it shakes the entire earth. There's no more islands; they're all fled away. Um, what's interesting about that is in the trumps, I believe, or the bowls, I was thinking, wow, this is really lining up. The bowls, it says, out of the blue, between the sixth and the seventh, it says, "Behold, I come as a thief in the night." Wow. So now you got this huge earthquake in the seals, a huge earthquake in the trumps, and then in the bowls, "Behold, I come as a thief in the night." So I think, sadly, Jesus is going to return once, and it's at the end, and it's at that area. And so hopefully, all these guys on YouTube, they're saying, Jesus is going to return here next month, 2 months. But, I think that's just going to discourage everybody. And, hope deferred kind of a thing is hope lost, And I'm just wanting to tell everybody, hunker down. We got, the believers, we got time. We still got some time here to do his work. And we need to keep going about doing that rather than trying to say, "Hey, God, when are you going to pick me up? This is getting kind of scary." So thank you for your time. Also, I forgot to mention, what's interesting is if you look at the judgments in Revelation, um, after I think several of them, it always says but they would not repent. They would not repent. He does this happens, but still they would not repent. Now look, after this huge earthquake, it says they repented. It was too late. I think the reason they repented is because the earth just basically just exploded with all these earthquakes, or an earthquake, and all these bodies came out of the earth because they were raptured up. So that's my opinion. Hopefully this helps people.